Namaste. Heartfelt gratitude to all of you for being here. The chosen prayer from the collection of prayers and meditations written by the mother, these are her diary notes. The chosen prayer today is very interesting because it has been titled also differently by the mother, and it puts the seal on something very powerful, and it is a prayer written by the mother the day she arrived in Pondicherry for the first time. And the prayer is titled by the mother, Pondicherry, March 29, 1914. This is the one and only prayer amongst all these 303 or 13, I think 300, more than 300 prayers in this collection, the only prayer where the Divine Mother she wrote the word Pondicherry on top of a new page of her diary when she landed in Pondicherry. No other prayer has the word Pondicherry in it, and all her prayers have been titled just by the date on which she wrote. So it's a special prayer where she is also putting the seal on this tiny little town of Pondicherry, which is going to become the city of future now. Sri Aurobindo had already sanctified it by the time Mother arrived. He had already sanctified this city by his arrival, and by the Mother's arrival and acceptance, this town, this place, became the most sacred place, and it became the venue of the divine Leela. And not only that, it became the city of the future, the city of new creation, and it also heralded the descent of the highest divine power on earth. So the great day, which the gods and demons had perhaps waited for millenniums of years, is here now, and it has arrived at last. The mother undertook a month-long voyage, and she traveled by ship. And while she was traveling on this ship, it was not an ordinary journey or an ordinary voyage. She had ingathered all her energies to bring the unknown and the unknowable on this earth. This was her power, and she was working towards it. And now finally, she arrives at Pondicherry, and Pondicherry was soon going to become her divine laboratory. So, the prayer written by the mother on March 29, 1914, after she landed. And it's sometimes when I read this prayer, it fills me with awe, because Sri Aurobindo arrived at Pondicherry, which was a French province at that time. Mother being of French, she was born in France. So she traveled from France to a French province, which was in India. And how the twin avatars and how the divine interventions took place so that both the twin avatars, they come together on this divine land of Pondicherry. So the prayer now. Pondicherry, March 29, 1914. O thou, whom we must know, understand, realize, absolute consciousness, eternal law, thou who guidest and illuminest us, who movest and inspirest us, grant that these weak souls may be strengthened, and those who fear be reassured. To Thee I entrust them, even as I entrust to Thee our entire destiny. The prayer indicates, the prayer indicates the role she has actually assumed, and the prayer is a direct declaration of what she does when we entrust ourselves to her. When she is the divine mediatrix, how she changes the destinies, she turns our fears, our weaknesses into strength. How she is the mediator between us and the divine. Without her, nothing is possible. With her, every small thing, every weakness turns into an opportunity and leads us to the divine. And the prayer is a very short prayer. It has only 2 sentences in it. And in the first very long sentence, the mother has beautifully put, she has described what, in very few words, what is knowing, understanding, realizing. And why this knowing, understanding, and realizing, why it should be there, it takes us only towards the absolute consciousness and the eternal law. So, a direct prayer written by the mother in few words, yet so powerful for all her children. What she does in us and what she does within us. If you look at the first part, O Thou, whom we must know, understand, realize. So here, if we just focus even a little bit on the sequence of the words, know, understand, realize. First is always to know. Then whatever we know, we try to understand why it is here, why it has been given to us. We understand the what and the how of what we know. So knowing, understanding, when we internalize this within us, concretely, it becomes a realization. So she is creating in us an aspiration. We think we know God. We all think God is like this, God is like that, God is goodness, God is all powerful, almighty, God is full of love. We are getting moved only by the conceptions we have of God. But do we really know Him? When the mother says He's eternal, unknowable, means He's moving always in front. In the Isha Upanishad, it is written, Tadejati tannejati tadure tadbantike tadarantasya sarvasya. Meaning, is he really far and is he really near? When he is near, is he not far? And when he is far, is he not near? Meaning that there is always something to realize further and further. If when we are facing some difficulty in our life and we tell the Lord in anguish, Lord, where are you? भगवान कहाँ हैं आप? मेरे साथ ये क्या हो रहा है? So it is as if we think that God is very far, without realizing God is very near. Okay? And sometimes we feel very deeply the presence when we meditate or when we pray or when we just sit and try to connect with the divine through a flower or through any object. We feel immense peace and we feel very close to what is within us. So, we are experiencing the nearness then. But is the divine only limited to this nearness within me? Is there nothing that we need to look forward more and more and more? Should we limit ourselves to only what we are realizing at that moment? So it is a perception. One can say it is a paradox. He is near yet far. He is near yet far. So there is always a progress. There is always something or the other to realize at each step, at each moment. It is non-stop and it is always taking each one of us forward. Not only us, everything in the universe is moving forward because of this power. She goes on to say, O thou whom we must know, understand, realize. For what? To know, understand, realize absolute consciousness, eternal law. So, absolute consciousness, that very consciousness that has become everything, that has become all the becomings. And eternal law, the best and the simplest word in Hindi is Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan is eternal, Dharma is law. And it is an eternal law. And it is nothing. The eternal law is nothing but an unfolding of the divine at every moment, according to each thing that is craving for it, according to the nature of the thing, according to the nature of the very thing that is moving towards that higher state. So it is an unfolding of the divine within. And the Divine Mother works in each one according to their own nature. Nature is nothing but her Shakti, her power that is moving us towards the divine, that is making us search for the divine. And in that search, the unfolding of all that is happening within us, and this unfolding leading to the manifestation outside, that is eternal law. So, basically, divine law cannot be fixed by a dogma or a ritual or mantra or this way or that. So, when it is not bound by any ritual, it is not bound by any conception, in fact, it is not bound by anything. It is that eternal. Now, when we say it is this way that we should follow, or this is the path, this is how we should meditate, this is the mantra that we should recite, this is how we should pray to the mother, or this is how we should approach to Aurobindo even. So basically it is man-made. All these we are telling ourselves that this is the way. Yes, it can be your way, but it is not the only way. And it is not the way, it may be for you, but it is not the way for maybe others. Another person may have a totally different way, and that is all right, because his nature demands that law, that part of the law. So, eternal law cannot be fixed by a dogma or any mental conceptions. Mind craves for dogmas, it craves for rituals, it craves for systems, it feels very secure with rules and regulations, and it likes to limit itself to only that. But does the Divine Mother function that way? She is speaking of eternal law, which is vast, which is wide, which is unlimited, which is not bound by any mental conceptions, dogmas, rituals, this way and that way. So basically it is about an inner state. And what is this inner state? It is an inner state of ascension towards a diviner life through different ways of becoming. Not one way, but different ways, many ways, multiple ways, one and many. She goes on to say, Thou who guidest and illuminest us. So here she is saying, you are the one who is guiding us and showing us the light. We may think that, okay, I'm moving in a particular direction. Oh, wow, I'm moving forward. I'm going in this direction. But who is guiding you? It is the divine who is guiding you. If we think that we are going on our own and we are going by our own effort, then it is an erroneous approach. It is the divine who is also giving you the, you can say, the mind or the senses or the body or the energy to do that work. It is His. So everything is being guided by the divine. And at every moment, the divine is actually showing us the path, showing us the light. Illuminest us, who movest and inspirest us. It is He who is moving us. We think it is me who is moving and me who is looking to the divine, me who is calling to the divine. Even the turning that comes for us to say Ma or to call my Lord, that is also the grace of the divine. Without that, the turning also would not happen. It is only because the Divine Mother is within and she is guiding us. She is showing us the light. She is moving us. She is inspiring us. She becomes the aspiration. Grant, and then there is a prayer by the Mother, grant that these weak souls may be strengthened and those who fear be reassured. Very directly she is saying that when we entrust ourselves to her, the Divine Mother, she takes away all our weaknesses and turns them into our strength. When we entrust ourselves completely to her, and that is why she has taken the human form, that is why the role that she has assumed, it is only so that we can entrust ourselves completely to her. And when we do that, it's like a golden barter system. It's like a exchange. You go to the exchange, money exchanger, you give dollars, you get rupees, or vice versa. So you get something in exchange. The divine barter system is what? We offer our weaknesses, we give our weaknesses, our difficulties, our obstacles, our mindsets, our thoughts, all to the Divine Mother. And she changes it and turns them into our strengths. Only thing that we need to do is we have to have complete faith. And when we do that, she takes charge of everything. Not only that, things which are impossible become possible. Things which we could not achieve in lifetimes maybe can be done in one moment when we turn to her in all sincerity of aspiration. The Mother has said, and she used to say it often, that my child, come to me as you are, with your weaknesses, with your habits. Don't wait that I will change, purify myself, change my habit, and then I will go to the Mother. She says, come to me as you are. Because if you come to me as you are, I can work better and faster in you. If you come with a, makeup or a cover or a costume of a goody-goody costume, if you think that Mother will like it, I will have to do more work there. Because that mask or that make-believe frame that you are coming to me with, but inside you are a different person, you are presenting yourself as a different person on the outside. So it's all because of the ego. So first I'll have to graze out the ego for you, and that is more work. Instead, if we approach to her with humility, any difficulty, it is yours, I'm putting it to you, show me the way, in all sincerity, and then magic happens. How it happens, we don't know, only she knows. We are too small and we don't have that understanding and light, but it is enough if we turn to her, because she will make sure that you know why the situation came. It is always in retrospect. Initially we crib and cry, but then if we just offer it to her, we also realize why the difficulty came. She has that power. You know. She is the golden bridge, the wonderful fire. She is the mediatrix. So she being the great mediatrix, and she has the supreme power of love, and love is the creatrix. Why worry? When she is the divine mediatrix. So when we open to the mother in all earnestness and entrust, when we place our destiny to her, that's what she says further. To thee I entrust them, even as I entrust to thee our entire destiny. So, when we entrust ourselves completely, our destiny is decided by her. Whatever our destiny may have been earlier before we turn to her, it is changed now. It moves towards a more diviner destiny. And destinies can be of different kinds. So it can be a mental destiny, or you can say it. Some of the destinies come to us through hereditary. We can't change that, but we are born with certain genes, and our life pattern follows that. Our body follows that. Then the vital impulses. A lot of the destiny is decided by the vital impulses, and like that. But when we turn to her, all this changes. I'm sure most of you must have heard about the balcony darshan which mother used to give. That is what she used to do. She would stand there and she would connect and lift, and she would become that connection. And then she would lift, and then she would gaze at her children who were standing below, and whatever were their aspirations, vital, she would take all and she would offer it to the divine. And whatever came down from that, she distributed it to everybody. It's not that one person asked for one thing and that got granted. It is not at that small level. When she looked at anybody, she used to say, when I look at even for a person, even for a fraction of a second, I make him mine. He becomes mine. That is the power she has. And it is always there. It is there in everything which has her touch. Even a photograph, even a picture, a book, her words written, any letter written by her, anything that she has a connection with, that itself can change destiny. When we connect to that, that is the power of her supreme consciousness. That is how she connects all. It is not for one that she is working. And she has not come here to do abstract miracles. She has come here to create a new future, to bring divine life in a divine body, and for the collective aspiration of the earth, so that earth can be transformed. What a huge mission. So, there is an interesting and Sri Aurobindo said again and again, we have to turn to the mother. Without the mother, nothing is possible. And if you look at certain stories in mythology also, Shiva and Parvati, we have heard, I'm forgetting the name of the Rishi. I think it was Rishi Shringi or something. I'm not recollecting. But he was invoking Lord Shiva. And Shiva told him, just by invoking me, you will not achieve what you are seeking. You have to also invoke Ma Parvati. But yet, ego is such, he refused. He was a devotee of Shiva. And he thought, just by being devotee of Shiva, all can be achieved. Shiva himself is telling him. So, that famous Ardhanarishwar Roop is there. Yet, I think that Rishi, he takes the form of a bumblebee or something like that, and he goes around only Shiva's head. And then he crumbles and falls. So, it's just a story, but it has a deep meaning that Shiva and Shakti, both are needed. Shakti is needed even more. Sri Aurobindo used to say, if you come to me, 25%. If you open to the mother, the rest 75% also you get. So, the static aspect of the divine is there, but it can function only through the dynamic aspect of the mother. So, there is a direct connection when we approach the mother, when we look to her, when we entrust ourselves completely to her. It is a direct connect to the divine. And this is the shortest way. Mother used to say, take my blessings very carefully. My blessings don't mean that all will be all good, you know. Blessings would mean that I am working for your progress and I am moving you to the shortest way. And the shortest way could also mean that it can lead to a lot of disorientation and disturbance. But that is the shortest way. If it is her way, she will do it to bring you out of it quickly. Sometimes our desires are granted to us, because the divine deems it right to grant us at that time. And sometimes they are not. So when they are not, is the Divine Mother not working then? She is very much working there. And the ordeals and the circumstances and the difficulties that come, they are her blessings, nothing but her blessings. And that's what she means, take my blessings seriously. Don't think that blessings means everything will be good. True blessings, yes, sincere blessings would be when the grace is working quickly, faster, taking the shortest way for the transformation within us. So, surrender is needed. Sri Aurobindo in Savitri has written, heaven's wiser love rejects the mortal love. The divine love, we cannot fathom it. Our human mind or the human love cannot fathom that. But because He loves us, He'll sometimes make us reject the mortal love. Because we need to experience the divine love. And it is only through transformation that it can happen. It's not that He will cut off the divine love. Mother never said that human love in any form, whether it is partnership, child, mother, whatever it all is very divine. All is that everything has to move towards the divine. We have to move beyond the limitations. And because we have to move beyond the limitations, she is working, she has come, so that we can get transformed. And all energies have been given to us, but we are not aware of them. So what makes us aware of them? What reorients them? What organizes them around a central idea? What harmonizes all energies within us is she alone. Let us read the prayer again, and then we can ask for reflections. March 29 is also important. She landed in Pondicherry, and the very next day, which is going to be the next prayer which we will discuss in December, is on March 30th, when she meets Sri Aurobindo for the first time. A very profound prayer, that is. And here, Pondicherry, March 29, 1914. O Thou, whom we must know, understand, realize, absolute consciousness, eternal law, Thou who guidest and illuminest us, who movest and inspirest us, grant that these weak souls may be strengthened and those who fear be reassured. To Thee I entrust them, even as I entrust to Thee our entire destiny. So for the mother, her children always came first, and it is for them that she is here, and everything and everybody is her child. Whether we turn to her, or whether we remain blinded, or whether we don't turn to her, we are still her children. And that is her grace. It's a prayer, one of the shortest prayers, in fact, in this collection. And in And these two sentences, she has compressed why she has come and what happens when we entrust ourselves completely to her. If anybody would like to share philosophical questions, I may not be able to answer. Yes, but we can all share. Okay, since we have a little bit of time, because this was a short prayer, I'll just touch upon something about the prayers and meditations. More than 300 prayers, and these are basically her own diary notes and her written meditations. Now, what is a written meditation, and what could be the reason behind or what is the significance of the written meditations? We all meditate, but these written meditations are such where when we write something, we concretize or we objectivize what is subjective within us. We actually put into words what is the concept or the idea very clearly, and more clarity comes. So these are the written meditations of the mother, and she had written them mainly from 1912. Most of her prayers were from 1912 to 1917. A little later also she has written. And when she showed them to Sri Aurobindo, he immediately felt that it is for everybody, because these are her own experiences, her own trials and tribulations. People talk always of the method and the final goal, the path and the goal. But nobody talks about what goes on in between the path. What are the experiences? What are the ups and downs? What are the trials and tribulations on the path? And the mother has candidly disclosed them in the prayers. And while she has disclosed them, and most of the prayers have such kind of disclosures or questions, and also followed by a prayer which are of universal value till today. So, we have an aspirant here. So beautiful. And so the mother was very reluctant to publish them, but Sri Aurobindo insisted, and he himself translated almost 60 of the prayers from French to English. But the mother, the divine has her own reasons, she tore off 4/5 of her collection. So what we see here is only 1/5 of her diary notes. So 4/5 she tore and she burned them. Her reasons, the divine has her own reasons. And what we have here is only 1/5 of them. And they hold a world of wealth for us. And it also makes us understand the path very clearly, and all confusions that we face related to yoga or our own spiritual discipline is one does find the answers in these prayers. And when we read these prayers as an offering to the mother, we actually get into direct contact with her own consciousness. These are words by the mother, very powerful, and only 313 prayers are there, I think, in this. That's it.